This should never have made it through the declutter at all. It's going directly in the garbage. Not loving. I hate this so much. We're counting down the days till summer gets here. Wearing some seashells in our hair like we don't care. So we are back to go back into this beauty space to figure out what else needs to be decluttered today. And today's gonna be a try-on version because these products have actually made it through my first round of declutters. And you guys have seen this has been the most cutthroat I have probably ever been with my declutters. And I do declutters all the time. But this year we are not messing around. We need to curate this beauty space because I have done way too much work in here. I have done new flooring. I have done new trim. I have new doors. Well, door trim. A lot has gone into this beauty space. So I cannot wait to kind of just like have this whole room be completed. So the next task is gonna be figuring out, do these stay, do these go? Has anyone else's allergies been insane lately? Oh my gosh, got a little too much sun yesterday because it was the solar eclipse and I was not expecting for Florida to not see any of the eclipse. So my nose is a little red today. But we're starting off a little controversial, potentially. I don't remember the last time I went into this very like high-end primer. And I don't know if it's just because I've had an overload of primers. Like that was the thing that I had way too much of and maybe kind of still do. So I need to figure out, do I need this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer or not? I do love the Pro Filter items from Fenty, but why am I not using this? I love their powders. I love so many things from them, but why am I not using this? Am I sleeping on this? Is it just so good and I'm missing out? Ooh, I'm already seeing like glow happening here. It's an instant retouch primer. I do like when my pores get blurred because they are very bossy right up front. It's laying well on top of my lotions that I have on this morning. I did SPF up like I always do after some skincare. I like how it's laying, but we're gonna see how this plays with everything else. And you guys, I've got some controversial things I think in here. So if there's stuff in here I end up decluttering, don't take it personally if it's your favorite. My skin is super sensitive, fickle. I've got big bossy pores. This may shock you because it kind of shocked me when I had the idea for this video. This is one of the items that really brought upon the idea to do this. And if you've been here a while, you know this was a holy grail foundation. Like I would not shut up about it for probably a year and a half. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is the Natasha Denona Transform Matte Pore Vanishing Foundation. You know, if you know, you know. I was obsessed to the point you guys were letting me know when it was on sale. You were warning me when you thought maybe Natasha Denona was getting rid of this. Did she end up getting rid of this? I do have one more backup in the backup drawers too. So I was like, when's the last time you really used this? I don't know. I really, really don't know. It is still on her website. For a while there, we were really concerned because it was constantly on clearance. They couldn't restock. Yeah. Oh, but it is way cheaper on the Natasha Denona website than ever before. This used to be $45. Now it's $22.50. Ooh, the 40N is out of stock. So maybe they are still kind of slowly getting rid of this. Hard to say. So I do have a little beef personally with Natasha. It's like a personal thing that I don't know. Is she not wanting to be friends anymore? I do have a code with Natasha to get you some money off. And they pushed it through. They're the ones who told me about it. I didn't ask for it. And then recently I got an email saying, sorry, you've been denied. But they're the ones who gave me a code already. So I don't even know. I have to, I guess, look into this with Natasha. Do I still have a code? Do I not? If I do, I'll link it below for you. But I need to get this sponge wet because that works best for this foundation. After giving it some time, the skin is looking glowy, nothing too crazy, I think. It looks fine. Little touch attack, but nothing crazy. So let's go in with the foundation that I have not touched in forever, and I loved it. Where is it? There it is. Is there anything in here? Have I been holding on to another makeup corpse? Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. It's on my phone. It's going everywhere. This was nowhere near it. Where did that just go? All over. Okay, I think this one's done. We have a backup of this. We're just gonna go into that. This is done. Like, this is everywhere. everywhere. I'm checking my camera right now because this has just keeps spreading everywhere. I don't even know what to say. The pump is just like, I'm here and it's getting out here. This did not need to make it through the declutter. This should never have made it through the declutter at all. It's going in the garbage. So this video is already helping us get rid of the things we had no business holding on to. Oh, now it's coming out like, oh, not like it's supposed to. Okay, you're not expired, are you? This is not how it should look. Shake, 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 shake. I wasn't expecting this video to get so exciting right up front. Oh my gosh, it's still so liquidy and runny. Okay, it's starting to thicken up. Okay, do I want to put this on my face? I don't even know. Okay, this is the better consistency it's supposed to be. Okay, it has been sitting just in a drawer for forever. I honestly don't remember how much I should be applying, so let's start with this. Again, the color match may not be great right now. I don't really smell anything. Ooh. Yeah, it's definitely too dark for me right now. I'm sitting here remembering that, like I talked about in my last video, sometimes we have rose-colored lenses with when we fell in love with a type of product, whether that was just a new discovery of how something looked with our, face at the moment, if it was a long time ago, our pores, how we used to wear makeup versus what we do now. I'm literally shocked at how yellow orange my whole head looks, and this is the 40N light medium neutral. That is the color that was like so perfect for me before. And I know it's like coming out of spring right now and we've had a rough spring. I mean, I don't know what Punxsutawney Phil was talking about, but I don't think a lot of us got an early spring, and I live in the South where it definitely should have been. But I'm just sitting here going, I don't see the hype. Like, if past me didn't exist and I was just meeting this product for the first time on the streets, the mean streets of Makeup Town, I'm like, I mean, the pores look okay, but nothing extra fantastic that I couldn't achieve with another product that I already have in my collection. I'm a little tripped out right now. Am I in the Twilight Zone? Did something happen with the eclipse that I am now in a Twilight Zone? Because this was a holy grail. And now I'm just looking at myself in the mirror going, but why? I'm letting it sit here and oxidize for just a second before I move on. Like, oxidized a lot up front, and now after letting it sit for minutes now, it's kind of coming back down to be a little bit more me. I almost just want to look at an old video and remind myself what I thought upon initial application. This is a runnier foundation than I thought it would be. Like, you can see it dripping down. And when I spread this product though, it goes so nicely. It just moves with your skin. I put on more than I usually do because I'm looking for a thicker coverage to cover up all of these little monsters. When your mortal body is paler than the potion you're putting on your face, make sure to take it down your neck or drag it. In person, this really looks nice. It doesn't look crazy matte, and it could be some of the things I have underneath. Because now it's looking better. In person right now, I can see how it would match me better. It still is a little warmer for me, obviously, than my skin is right now because I have been indoors, but I still see the dewiness. I think what I'm like starting to remember about this product was how much I was obsessed with how this is a full matte foundation during a time that we were transitioning with makeup. A lot of us were all matte makeup looks. And then we started backing off of it or needing a little bit more dew, a little bit more realistic skin-like texture. So I think I was really obsessed with the fact that I still have a lot of shine to my face, naturally, not oily, but looking like it's really glowy skin, but a matte foundation. I think that's why I'm starting to remember why I loved this so darn much. And it was masking some pores because I have bossy pores. I just do. And I do like that my face is not feeling tacky right now. As someone who has been transitioning with my skin type for a while, I feel like I wouldn't even need a powder right now, honestly, which is kind of revolutionary for someone like me. So I'm seeing some of the pros, but I'm also seeing some cons. I'm less like shocked about it now, and now I'm kind of seeing why I liked it. So let's keep moving forward. Oh gosh, I don't even know if some of this makeup is gonna go together, honestly, because I just talked about what I put on my face, and now the concealer that I'm still sitting here going, why are you still in my collection? Because I don't really use you, is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Concealer. This stuff will cover your tattoos. This stuff will cover any dark circles you have. I mean, it could probably erase entire human beings if you needed it to, because this stuff is intense. And kind of similar to the foundation here, this is not the type of makeup I've been gravitating to for quite some time now. So I'm just like, is this gonna be expired? I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm just gonna pull a little bit out here because this stuff is very, like, it's got a lot of punch. Put just a touch here, a little bit here. Oh my gosh, I still have so much on my finger too. As you can see, this is just really thick. You don't need a lot. And I know with makeup, you know, trends revolve around. Like, look how the 70s and 90s styles are similar and now they're back in style. The 2000s. So it's like makeup, we're already talking about a 2016 summer as far as like boho vibes go with style. So I can already see on the horizon makeup doing another revolution, but it's not going to be the exact same. Everything that does come back around has its own new twist on it for the newer, you know, generation or the newer products on the market. It's definitely brighter. Like, everything just brightened up a ton. I mean, separately, these actually are really good products. The question is am I gonna reach for them beyond today, beyond this video? Will I be reaching for them? We will see. Let's just keep going. So I'm kind of stuck, honestly, because the next few products that I have here, I would like to talk about with you. I don't know where to go next because this is so full coverage, but I've been playing back and forth with the KVD Lock-It Powder Foundation. I have found that this is actually good for midday touch-ups, and I completely forgot about it. It kind of just got pushed around in my drawer. I don't even know if I got to talk about it in my declutter when I was going through the foundations, because it kind of got pushed to the back. So I'm thinking about this. I may use this later in the video, but with this on right now, I don't want to layer double foundations. But I do have two powders here, and it's interesting because with what I'm wearing, like I just said, maybe the under eye would definitely need a little bit of powder, but the face doesn't feel like it needs a ton. And my friends, we have two different powders we gotta talk about. A Toy Factory powder and an Anastasia Beverly Hills powder. We're gonna start with the under eye because that's usually where I kind of go anyway, just to start the powdering down because I have very expressive eyes. I held on to this Toy Factory Ultra Set Mineral Niacinamide setting powder that I got in a Ipsy bag. And once I saw it said mineral niacinamide powder, I was like, oh, I should try this some more before I declutter it. So that's what we're doing today. Under the eyes, maybe around the nose, just a touch, because I need to see how this powder is going to perform for me. So I'm getting out the brush and we're just going to go right in. Ooh, but before I move on to the face powder, we also have to look at something. Okay, the under eye feels like it's nice and powdered down, not feeling tacky. It actually looks really good so far. The skin's looking really nice. But before we go into this, I gotta make some decisions on this Halo Smashbox Wisteria blush. This is not the type of blush that I think I can put over powder, so I'm gonna be putting it on, but it is so punchy, pow pow. I don't know if I like it that much. And I'm starting to see again how this does not match this. So let's just move past that because we're just looking to see, are the products worth holding on to until I'm tan enough to, you know, use them more. So this particular Smashbox Halo Sheer to Stay color tint is for lips and cheeks. You don't need a lot because there is so much pigment that comes out of this little sucker. This may even just be too much too. It's just like the concealer. You just need a tiny, tiny bit. But this is actually gonna be a lot. I'm using the sponge so it's not too intense, because if I just do it with my finger, it does become pretty, like, I'll show you. It sits more on top, and then it's just gonna be a lot more bold. A little bit more of that sunburn look. Looks like it's layering well with the foundation. But you kind of see what I mean? With the sponge over here, it's definitely gonna be a little bit more of a flush of color, whereas this is like a lot more bold. It actually looks better on camera in my viewfinder than I think it does in person right now, which is why this is always such a tricky little game to do. Next, we're going to be jumping into the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now this is a translucent powder, and I feel like I haven't been needing a lot of translucent powders since I've not been doing this full beat moment a lot. We've been so much more natural lately. I don't know why I just left all of this on the brush. I'm out of practice. But it is translucent, so the good news is even if we cake it on, which shouldn't be too much. I feel like the foundation is doing such a good job of not being sticky that I don't even need a lot of powder. Okay. Now the brows are gonna be something I'm a little, honestly, probably stuck in my ways. Because with brows, I've been a little more of a creature of habit to some degree when it comes to the brows. I do mix it up just a little bit. The brow freeze from Anastasia Beverly Hills I recently got, and I just don't know if this is ever going to be something that I gravitate to. I was surprised by it in my last video, so let's find out. Now I believe when I looked it up, it said that you need to do this first, and in my head I had to do this after I put down some color. So let's start the way we're supposed to. I'm just not really like a feathery brow kind of gal, I guess. Also, I'm always on a journey to grow back out the brows that I overplucked back in the day, and please don't let that trend really be coming back. I keep hearing thin brows are back, and I'm like, no, save yourself. Gen Z, don't do it. So we have this going for the feathery, very easy. Penny is yelling at an old man walking by because he's gonna come steal her squeaker toys? I don't know. So we have the featheriness of the brows going. So now what I'm gonna do, instead of doing an extra pencil, is I'm just gonna go in with my Brow Wow and try to keep that featheriness and see if it's enough for me, because I do need some color, some things to just fill in here. I don't know if it'll be enough though, honestly, especially on camera, because whenever you're on camera, it definitely like washes out some of the things. You have to get a little bit more bold. I guess the issue for me right now is that as I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, this doesn't look bad, but I don't need that extra layer when I feel like this does a fine job of, if I want it to be a little feathered, they can be. They're feeling a little different for me, but that's the point of this video. Let's just see, am I gonna keep this throughout? So, my friends, we have a face palette here, and I know I haven't really gone through face palettes. I don't have a ton of those, but I might at the end of this video or at the end of this look make some decisions, because I actually got two from Smashbox, their new Halo palettes. You may have seen these around Instagram and YouTube a little bit. These are newer to Smashbox, and I really love this one. This is the Back to Cali palette. I really like this, and all of the colors work well with my skin tone. But pink saturation, I'm less sure about. So this is gonna be the one we use today, so I can decide while it's still pretty fresh. Are we keeping her? Are we decluttering her? What's happening? Into the bronzer we go. Technically, this is called Designer, a contour powder, but it can clearly also be a bronzer. We still contour with bronzer, so it counts. I just don't know if I see this very well on my skin compared to the other one. Can I show you? I'm gonna do it. I feel like this just isn't showing up. Now keep in mind, I know that this foundation is darker for me right now, but this one in the Back to Cali palette is called Beach Day, and I feel like it's just more punchy on me, and it definitely just shows up a little bit better on my skin tone and gives me that warmth. Whereas over here, I don't see it as much. Over here, I do. Like, look at that. Back into the pink one here. Like, do you see how it's just not doing anything for my skin tone? I'm even coming down here where there's no foundation to kind of like mask things. This is like, I don't know, my fourth, fifth layer. And I see maybe a touch of a shadow, but not much. So this bronzer just isn't cutting it for me, honestly. I already have some blush on, but I'm gonna do a little bit of a topper here. Let me do a touch of this pinkier one. Pinks don't always look that great on my skin tone, honestly, so I'm a little bit more of a burnt orange kind of girl for my skin tone. Not loving. When in Rome, we're gonna go back up here to the highlighter. And this is Rose Quartz Highlighter Powder. You guys, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I can't tell a lie. I did such a good job of decluttering my eyeshadow palette. This part of the video was a little bit more like, which things were maybe on the bubble for me? So I have a couple of different things here, but these aren't things that were super top of mind like these other products. It's more things that maybe I haven't gotten an opportunity to use very much. So the Midsummer Alter Ego palette is definitely something that I have not gotten an opportunity to play with too much, but I was super impressed with the shadows. So am I gonna use it? Am I not? Let's find out. The Wander Beauty Trailblazer palette. And something that I'm also on the bubble about though is this Pudir eyeshadow. This is something that came in a subscription box that's kind of questionable. So I wanna see, does it perform like I think it will, or that I remember it doing, or is it just something that I need to let go of? Starting with Midsummer, lots of kickoff, lots of fluff. For as much kickoff, I was hoping for a bit more opacity. It's not bad, but it's not as punchy as I was thinking it might be with all of that fallout. I don't know if you can tell, but this is super messy now, just for me diving into this, which, you know, it should be pigmented then, but whew, lots of fluff. May have overdid it on the under eye. Tuscan. Let's pop into the Wander Beauty and go into Mandy. Oh, also a lot of fallout. It comes out so much differently than I thought it would. This is a very dark chocolatey color, but I have not tapped it off. It blends beautifully into the eye look. It really, really does. You can really build it up in the crease as well. It just doesn't come out the color I thought it would. As I'm literally looking at the color here, and I'm being very messy now, just kind of plopping this in here. I'll clean it up too, but you can kind of see how it's just, you gotta build up to that darkness and that richness, but it is super buildable, very creamy, not really having any issues other than my own sloppiness, but it's also really easy to clean up too. Like, this is not hard at all with just a brush. So this is where I'm gonna be a little extra because I just wanna see how some of these things perform. Specifically the Midsummer shimmers. I remember them being like so unique to my collection. I'm gonna pop into this one. And I know I still wanna do that Pudir shimmer on top of everything just so I can know, is it worth keeping? But I really gotta see this because I need to know. This is honestly reminding me of another palette as far as the shimmers go that I am obsessed with, and it is not new. It is an OG palette for me that you may even have because it's so old school, but it's still so good. If you have the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette, I feel like the shimmers in here are fantastic, but so are the mattes. They are buildable, creamy, and amazing. They're way more pigmented than the Midsummer palette, and I think that's what I was trying to figure out in my head, because these shimmers are so yummy too, and they have a very similar consistency. Kind of a similar formula. Yeah, this is such a ride or die for me. And I know the shimmers over here in the Wander Beauty are as well. I feel like the shimmers are really like, So I may be ruining this look a little bit here, but we gotta know, is this any good? Let's find out. Oh, super creamy. This is more of a pink tone, whereas what I have on currently is a little bit more of a smoky gray. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is like a spring dream. Again, this is one of those brands though that isn't like, it's more of like a Shein or a Temu type brand from what I learned later. I got it in a subscription box of a subscription I no longer get. I really did such a good job decluttering the eyeshadow palettes because I'm like, each one of these has their own great thing about them. Do I think the like lighter toned neutral mattes in the Midsummer palette are a little lackluster? Yeah, but they're still fine to get into this other business. I do want to go into some of these darker shades though, because I want to see how these perform. Let's go into this like rich green. I like that these are buildable for something like this because I'm not trying to be too much, but let's be serious. I know I'm gonna be. All right, y'all, I think I'm gonna hate this mascara. At least I did the first time around, but let's see if I still feel the same way, because I have given the mascara time to thicken up and oxidize. Let's talk about the Smashbox Fan Out Mascara. I like a fluffier wand that tends to work better for my lashes. I really don't see much when I use this. If anything, I feel like I have more sparse lashes with this formula, or maybe it's just this brush. See, maybe it'll make a fool of me saying that now because it has had a little time to open up and oxidize. It feels like it's a very wet mascara, and it is not already doing me justice. Like, it is keeping everything down low. It is clumping a bunch of them together, and I'm trying to just lightly separate without adding too much product. Another tip I like to do is to just take the wand, hold it up, and let it like try to force the curl a bit more. Now half of them that I haven't tried to force up are up, and these over here are down. What is happening? It grabs onto like a certain part of the lash. I think it's the brush. I also just don't like how liquidy this is. It does nothing for my lashes. I hate this so much. It looks awful. It just looks awful. I'm as zoomed in as I possibly can be. And I don't even know if you can see, but they are straight. They look like they have nothing on them, or they just look terrible. I don't even know if I can find an angle to show you what my lashes look like because they just look so bad. This may be a contender for me for worst product of 2024 already. I don't like this. I don't even have to, oh my gosh, look how messy this is being. I'm literally just lightly, how? How could a mascara ruin an entire eye look that quick? It got so messy down here for literally no reason. I didn't keep going back in or anything. The upper lashes, this one literally looks wonky. I've got like one rogue one up here. These have all dropped. This one's trying to lift. It's just terrible. I'm gonna try to save it with just curling them now that they've had a second. I'm just like, this just was such a downer. Oh my gosh, there's no repairing this. Like, they're not even acting like they know that there is a curler on them. Now it's like pulled off in the middle here. It's like chunky out here, chunky on the outside, and like nothing in the center. Your favorite, I'm so sorry. It's not working for me. I'm really glad it works for you if it does. I'm angry about it right now. For lip products, let's look at this July Star dual-ended lippy. She's got like a lipstick and a lip liner all in one. Again, this is one of those brands that is a little bit more like a Temu sheen. So I'm always a little questionable about how things are made that way. Lip liner sure is creamy. I've been seeing people do like the Cupid's bow a bit more rounded lately. A bit of the lipstick now. Huh! Maybe I thought this was more of an orange tone on the skin, not as like red. Why do I still have you? Why do I still have you? I don't know about this. It's super creamy. It's not that it's like feeling bad. It's just, am I ever gonna wear this color? I thought it was gonna be more of like either something like burgundy or a little bit more burnt orange. I wasn't expecting this kind of in the middle, bolder red. But it's not gonna be so bold here in a second. When I put on my Blissful Ofra lip gloss. You guys, this shocked me when I put it on. It was like too much. I immediately was like, ooh, I don't know. Look at this running down. I don't know. It's kind of giving metallic lips. I'm just trying to do a little bit and then spread. Well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I feel like this really is getting wasted product, and look how much is coming off of the red as well. So I have like this intrusive thought to go like fully in and just see. The intrusive thoughts one, and I put a bunch on there just to see how highlighty can I make these lips look. And it can go rogue. It can go a lot. And I do recommend putting it on top of something with way more opacity, just because then it's less highlighty on the lips, but it does give a nice glow if you don't do what I just did. In person, this just looks insane. The last thing is the Final Treat Setting Mist. I don't know how I feel about this. It's got a nice mist, but I don't think that it holds on my makeup. I don't think it's as good as some of the other stuff I have in my collection. So I'm gonna give this a second to dry down, and we're gonna go through this. You guys, I 100% hate my makeup today. ugh, I am not loving this look at all. I did try to like somewhat dress it up a little bit, but there is no escaping sometimes when something is bad or just doesn't work for somebody, it just doesn't work. So let's go through this and I'm gonna tell you what I am keeping and what somehow made it through the previous declutters, and it is getting the chop in this declutter because they are not staying here. You can't go home, but you can't stay here. Starting from the top, I think that this Fenty Pro Filter primer was beautiful, but you can't see it right now really under some of the other stuff that is on my face that I just don't think works for me. So this is gonna make it through that next round of declutters. I am gonna keep this, and I need to see maybe in the next 3 to 4 months, what am I using or what am I not using, and then maybe do another like easier rapid fire type declutter, because this is actually pretty good. I like this. The thing that stumped me immediately in the beginning of this video was an old favorite, Natasha. Girl, what happened? So I'm thinking that first one was old enough that it just was not working. It splattered all over. But then when I pulled up the backup, it wasn't shaken up. It had literally been sitting in drawers for at least 2 years. So when I shook it up and things started kind of becoming one again on my skin, at first it oxidized, kind of scared me, but then it kind of leveled back out. So I'm gonna hang on to this and try this more as I get a little bit more sun, see if I still love it. And again, in that next 3 to 4 months, if it is not working for me by summer, she's gotta go. But she makes it through this round. There's a few things that I have in the yes pile, the maybe pile, and the no pile. And right now, this is in the maybe pile for me. The Bye Bye Under Eye did its job. It did what it was supposed to do, but I'm not using it. And most of the time, if something is in the maybe pile, it doesn't really go back into my collection. It's not that it was terrible, but I don't need it. I've not been using it. I mean, the under eyes are fine, but you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. Decluttered. The Toy Factory Ultra Set Mineral Niacinamide that I put on top of that did surprise me. I liked that, but with the rest of everything else I have going on, I need to give her another go, but she was definitely standing out in the good way, not the other way. So this one has also made it through this declutter. Smashbox Halo is not bad. However, this blush just doesn't really compliment me, and I opened up my drawer to see what else I had, and honestly, I don't need her. I have a lot of other things that I do reach for quite a bit. It did end up looking pretty nice on the skin, but I don't need it, and you have to use such a minimal amount or you get that sunburnt flush look. I don't need that extra stress in my life. Decluttered. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Translucent Powder did pretty good. Now granted, I also had on a really good foundation that didn't require a lot of powdering. So that is also a win for the foundation, but also, you know, my skin looks fine as far as the powders go that I used. So she's gonna stay. Next is the Smashbox Halo Pink Saturation. Now remember, the Back to Cali was in no threat of being decluttered because this one is the one I knew worked better for my skin tone. It was this one I needed to really inspect. And upon further inspection, I don't need her. I think this bronzer contour is way too light for me, even in my palest moments right now. The blushes are only okay for me. The other ones work better for me because they're deeper and work better with my skin tone. This highlighter, I'm sure is fine, and I probably just overdid it with everything else I have going on my face today. But I feel like it is making my skin look not its best. It doesn't look like that beautiful glowiness. It looks kind of harsh. So this one is going to be gifted to a friend. Decluttered. What do I do about eyebrows? So they're really touchable, and every time I'm using this, I'm sitting here going, is it going to make my eyebrows stiff? The Brow Freeze doesn't really freeze them as far as like being stiff. They're still very soft, and they easily had things apply on the top of them. I'm gonna let it pass, honestly, because I could see this summer when I'm doing something super breezy and easy, doing beach days and errands, I could see this working well with the product I already used. But again, I'm gonna be reevaluating in the next 3 to 4 months. I went into this video telling you there's some things in here I really thought I liked, and that I wasn't really on the bubble of even thinking about decluttering until I actually put my fingers back into them. And I'm not really liking my eye look. I actually kind of hate it. And it doesn't really have anything to do with the palettes necessarily, But I did kind of ruin the look with this Poudre Creamy shadow that I thought, you know what, I remember it being great. I could see this being better as a standalone. So if this is something that you love, the formula, the color, the way that it wears, great. Might be better as a standalone one and done. But when I had this on, I noticed again it moved. But then after the initial set down, it's kind of transformed into a little bit less opaque, a little less dazzling looking, and a little just bit more kid makeup vibes. I don't know how else to put it. It doesn't look as clean or as nice as I like my shimmer to look, and I put my nose next to it. And I hate the scent. It does not smell good at all. I was kind of like, what is that? What am I smelling? And it was this. We're just gonna take her, exit stage left, and declutter it. The two palettes are staying. I don't know if I actually need to say this now, but I'm just, for this end of part of the video, wrapping it up, I wanna make sure that you know I hate the Smashbox Superfan Mascara. I think this is terrible. It does not work for me. I'm so glad if it does work for you, but I hate my lashes the most, and I feel like it is just, I kind of just want to wash my face off. Garbage, garbage, garbage. I'm doing it right now. The July Star is a cool concept. I'm not a big fan of the color though. The brand is also super iffy for me. I'm just not vibing with it, so decluttered. Clearly my intrusive thoughts took over and I did too much, and this is just looking insane in person, to be honest with you. It doesn't look cute at all, but when I did the initial lay down, she did look cute, and I could see this on a different makeup day, not this day, looking really nice with a light little coat. But again, if I do not use it or like it in the next 3 months, 3 to 4 months, stay tuned, be subscribed, she may go. And the last thing, I honestly didn't have this on my radar either. I was just like, I need to put a setting spray on, kind of put everything back together, see if it helps any of this. And I think this setting spray made it worse. I don't reach for this anyway, but this is the Final Treat Face Mist Hyaluronic Acid Infused Setting Mist. It's the hyaluronic acid that I thought I would like, so maybe this is more of a before makeup type spray, but I have a lot of skincare. I'm not loving this. This is getting decluttered as well. 7 things just got decluttered out of this full face of second round makeup. I'm honestly surprised because I didn't really know how this was gonna play out. I think that mist at the end really added even more shine to my face. It really just made everything, I don't know, look extra worse. So everything to me feels so heightened and bleh right now, just bleh. So this just kind of shows, even sometimes after you do your first pass of decluttering, sometimes you need to go back in and be like, you're questionable. Let's try you and see how you actually perform. Because some things may surprise you in the good way and sometimes in the bad way. We are getting to the end of this declutter series for the moment, and I've got a few more things that I'm gonna be sussing through. I don't know if they're gonna be on camera or not, but we're getting ready to do the full beauty room reveal with all of the new stuff that I've added in, and then we are gonna jump into getting ready for summer, you guys, because I've got some surprises coming for you, and I hope you enjoy them. Stay subscribed, like the video, comment below if you like it. It helps my little channel so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.